What's up, y'all? It's Jason here, back with another edition of Vikings Daily SITREP. This is going to be our new daily show. Every day, myself, producer Dave, will be coming on to talk about what's going on in and around the Vikings, quick hits, our opinions, looking for you to tell us what we get right, what we get wrong. And before we get started today, if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, and join the conversation because we love talking to all of y'all.
It is time for Climbing the Pockets, Vikings Daily SITREP.
All right, y'all. I'm here to talk about something that has been going on in and around the Vikings fan base here. As it's becoming clear, we've hit the end of an era. The season has been a disappointment. Mike Zimmer's likely not back as head coach. Rick Spielman may or may not be back, maybe GM, maybe in a different role. And the conversation is turned now to what it's always been, which is Kirk Cousins and what we do at the quarterback position. And so there's a couple things that have been popping up a lot here, and it's really a fatalism that has infected the Vikings fan base, or a portion of the Vikings fan base, where anytime you suggest that the Vikings experiment over the last 4 years with Kirk Cousins, Mike Zimmer, Rick Spielman has failed, and you suggest that we should clean house, start all over with a new quarterback, a new GM, a new head coach, you're met with the response of, well, that can only work, or you can only suggest that if you know exactly how it's going to work out and what they're going to do to make it successful on the other end, which I say is absolutely ridiculous because you don't know. It's an unknowable thing. And that is not a serious response. What we do know is that the current regime has brought us nothing but mediocrity. And that's probably at this point being generous to them when we just call it mediocrity. You know, in the last 4 years, we've made the playoffs one time. And we were told that this move with Kirk Cousins coming into our team was a move to make us year-over-year contenders, Super Bowl contenders, teams that were fighting to play in the last game of the season, not teams that were fighting to play in the last game of the regular season to maybe make the playoffs every single year, year over year. And so this notion that, oh my God, if we get rid of Kirk Cousins, we're never going to be good again. The reality is we're not good now. We're mediocre at best, and we know this. If any of us are being honest with ourselves right now, we know that the ceiling for our current iteration of the Vikings team has been mediocre. The best season in the Kirk Cousins era with our Minnesota Vikings, the Vikings had a great defense. We were the 6th seed, needed a miracle play to advance in the playoffs, and then were summarily mollywopped in the next game that we played. We haven't been great. We haven't been dominant. Even when all of the things were together, were there, we still weren't actually there. We were just okay. And so I'm not here to say that Kirk Cousins is bad or he is a bad quarterback, because he is not. We have said repeatedly on this show, on all of our shows, that Kirk Cousins is a very good quarterback. The issue is that with his contract, we are not generating surplus value having him on the team, which then makes it difficult to give him all of the things he needs to thrive. I saw a tweet the other day that said, in the first 2 years with Kirk Cousins here, the defense was good. And in the last 2 years, the defense has been bad. And one of the things we've been doing a terrible job of is making the connection that these things are connected. Kirk Cousins' contract affects everything about how we build the team, everything about how we draft, and these things have started to trickle through into our lack of depth, into our lack of top-end players at other parts of the team. And this is why many of us are saying that we need to move on. We're not saying we know exactly what will happen if we move on, but at this point we can say with a measure of confidence that we know what will happen if things stay the way that they have been. The Kirk Cousins, Mike Zimmer, Rick Spielman regime has brought us mediocrity. Kirk Cousins, throughout his career, is fighting this week to get back to being a 500 quarterback. So we have a good idea of who these people are and what they seem to be thus far is not what we need to get us where we want to go. So yes, it's scary. Yes, we don't know what's going to come next. Yes, if we're being honest, we need to have at least a year of maybe not being great so that we can get our cap house in order, get some more draft picks in here, get some more youth on this team, maybe get rid of some veterans who are still productive players and get some draft compensation back. Yeah, we might have a lean year or two, but that seems to be what it will take for us now to get to where we all want this team to go, and that's to be a Super Bowl winning team. And even before then, a Super Bowl contending team, a team that consistently is fighting not just to get into the playoff, but fighting for higher seeding, home field advantage, all of the things that the great teams do. Because to date, we haven't been that. And those of us who want that don't hate our team or hate any of the players. We have expectations that are higher than our team just being okay, and understand that sometimes it takes a little bit of pain for you to get to the promised land of where you want to go. So, Vikings fans, that's it. That's the rant for today. Let's stop with the fatalism. We will be okay. If Kirk Cousins leaves, yeah, our next quarterback might not be as good, but we can move on from that one too, and we can keep figuring it out. But stability is not the same thing as winning and greatness. And we've tasted stability. And yeah, it's nice having a quarterback who throws for 4,000 yards year over year and doesn't miss games and all of those things, but he costs too much damn money for what he's actually giving us. He is elevating a bad roster. But as Eric Eager told us last night, part of the reason the roster is bad is because how much we're paying the quarterback. And so it's time to make a change. It's time to move on. It's time to embrace the change. It's time to embrace the mystery. And I, for one, am excited about it. New year, new team, 2022 Vikings. Let's go.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And if you're listening on your favorite aggregator, make sure you rate us. And always feel free to join the conversation here at Climbing the Pocket. Skol, everybody.